What is up, my fellow mobile gamers? In today's video, we are going over the stats in Diablo Immortal. Before we get started, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up this video is greatly appreciated. We got a ton of videos on Diablo Immortal. Check out our playlist. We also have an amazing guild that we are creating. If you would like to join our guild, go ahead. The Discord group will be down below in the description box. Just click that link to join. We will be on the NA East region and we will be joining the Greed server. All right, so here we go. I recorded some gameplay from the beta so I could just go over the stats. Now you have your main stats, which you're going to see right here is life, strength, intelligence, fortitude, vitality, willpower. Now life is pretty simple. Life is just how much health you have, your HP pool. Damage is basically how much damage your character does. Now you'll see strength here plays a different part. It can increase your damage as well as increase your offense and defensive rating. Now strength is going to depend on the class that you choose. Right here I have a barbarian class, so that's why I have points in the strength category. If you pick something like the wizard, someone who is magic focused, then you're not going to have anything in the strength. You're going to see stuff in intelligence, and that's why you'll see that intelligence is 0. Fortitude can increase your armor by a number. Vitality can increase your overall health pool as well as increasing your offense and defense rating. And then finally, willpower can increase your potency and your resistance. Now let's go into the more detailed breakdown, because these are like your main stats, and then you have your secondary stats that play a bit more of a role and are a bit more specific. So right here we have our offensive rating. So for this character we have 319, and you'll see that it says our offensive rating is higher than defensive rating of monsters, my level. So it will increase all of my damage by 18%, and then against players my damage is going to be increased by 10%. Offense and defensive rating can play a huge role in your character, and you'll see for the defensive rating we get a reduction in damage taken by 15%, and then against players our damage is reduced by 10%. All right, moving on to our armor, reduces all damage taken. It says our armor is 28 higher than expected. You'll see my overall armor right here is 39. It's going to increase our damage reduction from blocking by 8% from a base reduction of 50%. So what this means is you have the chance to block it. When you block it, you'll take reduced damage, which you'll see the base reduction is 50%. So if someone was to do 50 damage to me and we blocked it, we would only take 25. Now, because our armor is higher than expected, we're getting that extra 8%. So if we do block and attack, now we're going to take 58 reduced damage. Moving on to armor penetration, ignores some enemy armor and increases our critical hit damage. Our armor penetration's 4 higher than expected, so because of that we're getting an increase in our crit damage by 5% from a baseline of double damage. So a critical hit lands, it does double baseline damage, plus we're going to get that extra 5%. So if you wanted to do like a quick calculation, imagine 100% doubled your damage plus 5, so it'd be like 105 damage. Next up we got potency. Potency is a pretty important stat. It is compared against the enemy's resistance to modify the duration of all of the harmful effects that we may put on. So because my potency is 8 higher than expected, it's going to increase our overall duration of harmful effects by 1%. So resistance is compared against the enemy potency, and this modifies the duration to kind of slow it down or reduce it. So you'll see my resistance right here is 4 higher than the potency of monsters. So because of that, we're getting a reduction in our duration by 1%. Against players, our durations are reduced by 35%, and that is huge. Resistance is one of the top stats when it comes to PvP content. So if you really are struggling with PvP, or you really want to be an absolute beast at PvP, increasing your resistance is something very simple that you can do to really help you out. Accuracy rating is compared against the enemy's evade to determine whether your attack will hit or miss. Evade is compared against the enemy's accuracy to increase the chance that you can avoid the enemy's attack. Critical hit chance is pretty self-explanatory, the chance that you land a critical hit. Critical resist reduces the chance that the enemy lands a critical hit. Critical hit damage just increases your crit hit damage. Attack speed. So this is one that I just want to mention because I don't want people to get confused. Attack speed is different from your cooldown reduction. So you'll see that attack speed says it increases the speed of your skills and primary attacks. So attack speed is a very, very important stat. This can really be big for not only PvP, but PvE. This is one of the top stats for PvE content, increasing your attack speed. It increases the speed of your skills, but it does not increase the cooldown. The cooldown is different. So you'll see cooldown reduction means the amount of time it takes before you can launch one of your skills. Another ridiculously important stat is movement speed. This is arguably, I'm gonna say for me, this is literally the #1 stat I would say is the most important. And it's literally for anything. It's for PvP content, PvE content, anything. Movement in this game is insane. If you can have a really fast character, you will absolutely dominate. You will run through the dungeons like crazy. You will be able to gather mobs up. You'll be able to run around the enemies. Movement is your #1 stat. Next, we got block chance. Increases the chance to block the damage from an enemy, but will never block critical attacks. It's very important. Critical resistance is what kind of stops a critical hit. Life drain is another absolutely amazing stat for PvE content. You basically regain the life equal to a percentage of the damage you deal. Grants a chance to avoid getting destroyed and reduces you to 1 life instead. So the cheat death basically stops you from getting one-shotted by an enemy. Gives you the chance that instead of it being a absolutely obliterating shot, it will keep you still alive. Life regeneration, another one that's very easy to understand. You recover a percentage of your max life every 5 seconds while not in combat. That's very important. All right, finally, we got base attribute bonus. This is a really important stat. The base attribute of all your equipped items are increased based on the equipped legendary gems. So you'll see right now it says my total increase, I'm getting an extra 43 damage and an extra 413 life. That's a really good buff effect to look out for. But that is it for today, folks. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this video. Hope you have a better understanding of the stats and how they work. Stay happy, stay safe, my friends. I'll see y'all later. Peace.